Hey loves, welcome back to another episode of the Cage Bird Sing. I am your girl Sherika Shay, and I got Ollie on the other line. Say what's up, Ollie.
So how y'all doing today?
Yes, and then I got a special guest as well on the other line also. Say hello, Bone.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, so let's get into it, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot to Bone. Okay, Ollie, real quick. I'm gonna shoot to Mr. Bone, and I'm gonna talk to him real quick. Okay, so Mr.
Yeah,
Bone,
go ahead.
so how much time did you do in the feds?
Um, 18 years, and the first sentence for the original case in violation of probation, I did 3 years. So 21 years.
Okay, I was about to do the math. I'm like, so 21. Okay, 21 years. Okay. And then, so can you tell me a little bit about your experience throughout that process?
Yeah, well, I started off in the county jail in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm originally from Los Angeles, just to get away from the feds.
Mm.
Because I know they was looking for me in my phone. My mom's house was tapped
Oh, man.
and so forth. So I was out of town doing just me, really.
Yeah.
And they picked me up on an anonymous tip. The guy that was dropping me off to the bus station had called him because we had some dinners together, and he wasn't. He had been approached by the feds and they was looking for me. So he didn't really have no loyalty to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That I was leaving the city.
Yeah.
So he called and did a quick tip, and they pulled up like almost the same time we did. I seen the whole thing unfold, but I wasn't really aware that they was coming after me. I knew they were who they was. I knew they was looking for somebody, but I wasn't figuring it was me. It never crossed my mind.
Yeah. Until they came to you, until they was in your face.
Yeah, exactly. Till they told me to drop my bags and come to the back with them. But I had asked him when we pulled up, what you think we should leave? And he was like, no, we straight. He wasn't tripping, so I kind of had my guards up, but at the same time, I was looking for some insight from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I went in there and set my bags down, I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I met this other guy. And he said, man, I came out here too, man. I see the feds is in there. So we ended up smoking some weed, going around the building, and they was wondering. They was all looking out the building like, you could tell it wasn't that big of a bus station. So you could tell when people in there not really traveling.
Right.
And they basically didn't have to go after us because we went back in there.
Yeah, I was right there.
And they grabbed both of us, and they questioned the guy about all kind of money he had in his pocket. That was with me that was smoking the weed, and then they basically he said I was about to catch the bus to somewhere in Memphis or something, and I told him the same thing, and he was like, yeah, well. They went through my bags and they was like, "Yeah, you need to come with us."
Mm.
So that was the end of that. Then I had a long session sitting in the police station in the federal building where actually they questioned me, but I didn't answer them, and then they tried to force me to sign an affidavit saying that I waived my rights. And they grabbed me up, they hold my hand, put the pen in my hand, and I wrote refuse to sign on the paper.
Oh, wow.
So after that, they was mad. They shot into the floor and everything, trying to scare me up, rattle me up. They took me in another room and told me to call whoever I need to call. because I was going to jail. I told him I was cool. I didn't have nobody to call.
Mm.
And I ended up calling a lawyer. When I sat in there for a minute, I called a lawyer. He was like, get with me in the morning because I'm asleep. Because I had already retained lawyers and everything before I got arrested.
Okay.
So after that, it was a county jail process. I did that for a minute. And then I started getting into it with the officers there. Because I was a stay in the county jail in the federal holding.
Mm.
And then they was re-indicting me, bringing me up on different charges. I started off with a one-man conspiracy to distribute charge.
Okay.
That's what the guy that got me arrested at the bus station.
Mm.
His name was the other conspirator.
Oh.
So I guess he knew about the indictment and never told me. And basically was trying to see if I was going to get some more drugs over there in Nashville so he could sell. And then he probably would have did the same thing.
Wow.
So I wasn't down there for that because, mind you, we had a car wash together and we was doing legit business.
Mm.
So I told him I'd have stepped away from all that. I don't even do that no more.
Right.
Because I had left and went out of town to Los Angeles like 9 months prior to then because it had an incident down there on Riverside Drive where somebody tried to break in a house and do a shooting robbery on our house. And I left. I ended up getting away with the money. My other friend ended up getting shot.
That's a lot.
And basically, they came and got him. He was incarcerated too.
Oh, wow.
After that.
Okay.
But he just went to jail. And then after that, he got bombed, and then they ended up locking him up.
Oh, wow. Okay, Bone. So, wow, that's a whole. You know what? Your whole story sound like straight out of a movie. Like I seen that. I seen that in the movie. Oh God, I've seen that in a movie. I promise you, I've seen that in a movie where somebody got set up. They drove them to where they was needing to go, or whatever the case may be, and the feds was waiting the whole time because he was conspiring against the other person. So I seen that in the whole movie. Wow. And so I got another question for you, Bone. Another question. So in regards to like when you ended up getting sentenced and everything like that, like how was that transition from being a free man to now in this man doing 21 years? How was that transition for you?
Well, see, mind you, I said the first of the initial case was 18 years.
Right.
All that was pre-trial.
Oh.
But when I was going into the fact of me being in the county jail, getting into it with the police, I ended up catching an assault, and they sent me to the federal holding in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
To USP Atlanta, in a DCU unit.
Mm.
I stayed there for 2 years, and then my lawyer filed a motion to get my case transferred back to Los Angeles, where I was originally from, and they was basically posting my time in the SHU.
What's the shoe?
And I took the program.
What's the shoe?
The whole.
Oh. How much
It's
time?
a segregation unit.
Oh. How much time? So you did most of your time? When you say most of your time, how much time? We talking?
8 years.
Wow.
Out to 16, half.
Mm.
Half of my time was in the SHU because I didn't know the case law to get to the compound.
Wow.
And I ran into a couple guys that knew the case law, and they shared that with me, and I filed paperwork being pre-trial and being in prison to how to get to the yard when you're in a facility that has inmates that's pre-trial there.
Mm-hmm.
They have pre-trial units.
Mm-hmm.
the prison. Like everybody was going there for psych evals.
Okay.
But they'll let you out to the main population where everybody else. If you file the Lopez case,
Mm-hmm.
it was Lopez versus USP or something like that.
Okay.
And they was trying to say my custody level was too high to be with the other inmates. But I got that straightened out, and they sent me to the regular general population. And I did 8 years out there. And back to when I got out, I basically stayed with my dad, and I went to school. And when I graduated, got my GED, my mom bought me a car.
Okay.
When I was out of town.
Yeah.
And then I was working at Walmart, going to Ivy Tech Community College, and I got my certificate for electrician,
Okay.
program logic control.
Okay.
And then in the course after I got out of school, I kind of wowed out. My dad kind of got on me, and he kicked me out and so forth. And I ended up driving to Chicago and coming back. Got pulled over, so I violated.
Mm.
They sent me back for 3 years.
Okay.
And then they brought me back out to Los Angeles May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2020, in the middle of COVID.
Okay.
So I couldn't do the electrician work. And I started working with the city doing cleanup with this company called Chrysalis.
Chrysalis. Shout out to Chrysalis. Okay.
Yeah, they do people that's just getting home and just getting themselves together. They let you work off the PCH highway, cleaning gutters and stuff of that nature.
Okay.
And sometimes we go to Pacific Palisades and clean the side of the freeway and stuff of that nature.
Okay. All right. That's awesome.
So I did that until we had a car accident on the job.
Mm.
And I got some money, and then I ended up changing jobs because they wouldn't let me stay on because I had a case against them.
Okay.
But after that, I started working at UPS for 2 months. I couldn't work the night shift because they had put me on medication during the time that was incarcerated.
Okay.
So my probation officer wasn't allowing me to work at night.